Hello, good morning. Happy Saturday. My name is Meghan Maes, and this is Being Civil in Minnesota. Come here Saturdays at 10 to talk about legal issues and rules impacting families in the court system in Minnesota. I'm a licensed attorney, but this is not going to be giving you legal advice, and I'm not agreeing to represent you. We are getting close to tax time, and a common question that I get a lot during this time is, I got a letter or a notification indicating that somebody else has claimed one of my kiddos on their taxes, and I'm supposed to be able to claim them. Unfortunately, that happens quite often, either because people assume that they should be entitled to claim someone on their taxes at best, but at worst they know that they shouldn't and they just do it anyway. So we'll talk a little bit about that today. So the first thing to know is, dependency exemptions in the state of Minnesota are either determined by agreement of the parties, or the judge can order the dependency exemption to be shared. And what that looks like in family law orders and in court will depend on certain circumstances. So they're going to look at the financial circumstances of the parties. They're going to look at what benefit the dependency exemption would give someone. Sometimes if there are multiple exemptions or other tax reasons why adding a child or more than one child to your taxes is not going to have as big of an impact as it would for maybe another parent. What the benefit is, and if there's any tax credits. That is something that a court will look at and consider. A lot of times courts want to do what is fair and equitable and reasonable. If the other party is paying child support and they're up to date on their child support and its guidelines support, all other things being equal, a lot of times courts will alternate an exemption. If the parent is not getting enough support, then they can certainly ask that the court not do that. And so that eventually will become a court order. So the first thing you want to do, if somebody has claimed a child of yours or a dependent of yours and they are not supposed to, is look at what the court order says. If the court order says that the taxes are to be alternated, then the taxes are to be alternated. And if if it doesn't say who claims the child during what year, that is going to be a really big problem if you have to enforce that order. So you want to be specific about parent A will claim the child in odd years, parent B will claim the child in even years. Odd and even years sounds so simple, but even that can become complicated if you are not understanding what a tax year is. And so when you're saying odd and even years, even though it's 2025, an odd year, we are all filing for taxes that were incurred for the year 2024. So that would be an even year. So if I had even years in my divorce decree, I would claim my children this year. If you find out that somebody has claimed a kiddo and they're not supposed to, and you have a court order, that document is going to become very helpful because you're going to have to provide documentation to the tax agency, either Minnesota or the IRS. We used to have individuals mail in a competing tax return with the right claiming of the kiddos. According to H&R Block, I did a little looking this morning. It sounds like the IRS is going to be accepting electronic returns. I'm not suggesting that everybody go out and file it that way. I don't know if that is going to be a thing or not. So just do your own research when it comes to that. And then if there's no court order, then a parent who typically has the child for more than 6 months out of the year automatically gets to claim the child. When there's no court order, they may look for things like school records or medical records, or things showing like that you were in fact providing the care for the child. And if the other parent wasn't, it's going to be really hard for them to explain why they think that they should be entitled to claim the kiddo on their exemption. You'll likely get a notification that if you file a tax return, there should be a flag that indicates somebody else has already filed for that child. You'll get a notification. It is at that point that you decide what you want to do next. Easiest route is very likely to go to the agency, fill out the paperwork, let them do their process. That is going to take time. If for whatever reason you are unsuccessful in getting the IRS or Minnesota to recapture that refund and give it to you, you can sue. You can sue the other party, and there's a statute about that because courts don't want non-custodial, non-eligible parents claiming a financial benefit for a child when the parent raising that child and providing the financial resources for that child may really rely on tax refunds in budgeting for their year. So it can be really negatively impactful. So, but suing people can be a pain. And, you know, why would you want to spend money to go chase down money, right? You're already owed money. You don't want to hire an attorney. Well, in Minnesota, they thought of that too. And so you are also entitled to reasonable attorney fees if you do have to go track that person down and have them compensate you for the loss of resource or benefit to you. The exemption can be modified. The court will look at the original factors that it looked at when it originally issued the exemption allocation, and they're going to want to see a substantial change in circumstances, either the financial benefit to a party or the incomes of the parties. And so that can be re-looked at down the road. But make sure you have a calendar year in there so that it can be identified easily for the agency when they're looking for enforcement. Make sure you have any conditions on claiming the child, such as being up to date on child support and what that means, right? Are you saying child support for that year? Or, you know, if you have past due support, that's typically done on a separate repayment schedule. So you can find those rules in 518A.38. I am hosting live from my new office. Really happy to be moved in here. Still got some art to put up on the walls, but my husband is here helping me with that today. So I hope you have a great week. I will not be posting next Saturday. I will be out of the country and enjoying some time with my family. So have a great couple weeks, and I will be back in 2 Saturdays. Post questions on the Facebook group. Appreciate you guys. Take care.